I want to ask you something very specific, and it's regarding wholesaling within a self-directed IRA.
Define wholesaling. Is that a
Okay.
signing?
Okay. Great question. Let's call it assigning contracts.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't
Not
assign
an IRA.
contracts, period?
No. Outside of an IRA, I don't have any problem with it.
Okay. So I just read what you wrote about that, and I want you to dig in. I'll link up even that article in our show notes as well. I read this article you wrote about specifically almost like treating your IRA as like, I forgot what you called it, a magical.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
And I hate to start on what you can't do because it's so negative, but you asked and I'll do it.
No, but because we have a lot of people who
can do.
we have a lot of people who are wholesaling. I think it's important to talk about this issue.
So here's the thing. IRAs invest. What a lot of people do is instead of investing money, they run their services, their personal time through the IRA and say, magically, I don't pay taxes on my personal time. Guys, when you're assigning options or you're assigning a contract you got on a property, as far as the IRS is concerned, here's an important thing to understand about them. The IRS does not respect what's on paper. They respect what you actually do. So on a paper, I understand that you're saying, John, I bought this contract for $100. I sold it for $20,000. I bought an asset and I sold an asset. What don't you get about that? And I've had people get in my face like, are you stupid? Do you not get it, John Hyre? Are you an idiot? Like, no, I know the law. Because when you get a contract, you get a property under contract for $100, that's not an investment. That's trivial. You know what you're really investing? Your time, your knowledge. That's why you would never sell me a contract for $100 because then you'd be giving away your time and knowledge to me for nothing.
Right.
And the IRS knows that. So that's my issue. Wholesaling is a great idea outside of an IRA, but in an IRA, the IRS is going to rip it apart. They're going to rip it apart.
And not only, and there's case law now, like an actual
not directly on assignments, but indirectly. You're referring to the Mazzei case, Mazzei. It was a case where somebody bought their IRA bought a C corporation for $500, and then it made a ton of money. And the taxpayer said, kind of with an assignment, he said, "Hey, the stock went up in value. You know, it just went up. I don't know how that happened. It just went up." And the IRS looked at it and said, "Listen up, buddy. We know what you're doing. You got no skin in the game." They had two tests. They said for an IRA investment to be real, you got to have skin in the game. And $500 is not skin in the game when you're pulling out 20 and 30 grand. And second, the IRS said, would you do the same thing with a third party? Meaning, would you, in the case of an assignment, you bought it for 100, would you sell it for 100? No, I'm giving away my time. So you wouldn't do that deal. The only reason that your IRA was able to buy the thing for 100 is because you and your IRA are little friends, right? You're buddy with your IRA. You love your IRA. But you would never do that with me or with a third party. And that's a sign that it's not a legitimate deal for an IRA. So the IRS said they got a two-part test. You got to have skin in the game, and it's got to be a deal you would do with anybody.
So we're clear. If I were to actually because the difference between wholesaling and assignments, or the difference between, I guess wholesaling, buying something and then reselling it for a profit, you can do that within an IRA as long as you are buying the asset first and then selling the asset.
You take title, and I don't mean a simultaneous close where you take title for 20 seconds.
Right.
I mean a legitimate, you take title, and then at some point you resell it. Maybe you rehab it, maybe you don't, maybe you rent it, maybe you don't. That's totally legit.
But so just real quickly to follow up, you said a double close or simultaneous close is not good enough. Why?
Substance over form. The IRS would look at the double close and say, that's about the same as an assignment. There was none of your money involved. You owned it for 20 seconds. It was really your effort. It was really you brokering, bringing a buyer and a seller together versus the IRA having skin in the game. Now, if you borrow, it's legit. The IRA can borrow. There are rules.
Right. Borrow to buy the house.
But you pay a tax called UBIT. Right? So the IRA is taxable when it borrows. Right. Although here's a key. This is important. when a 401k borrows on real estate, it avoids that tax. So can a 401k buy something, take title, and then resell it fairly quickly and do it tax-free? Yeah, that's one reason I like 401ks, like solo 401ks, more than I like IRAs. They're more flexible. They got better rules.
So I don't have enough time to go down that rabbit trail, but I want to really pinpoint in on this. I cannot. Let me ask the question this way. If I were to get audited because I double closed on something where I've got $500 in my brand new self-directed Roth IRA, I've got $500 in there, and I put a house under contract through my IRA, and I sold that contract, or I double closed and I made a $20,000 fee, you would not be my attorney to defend me if I got audited.
I'm still the best one to defend you, but we're probably going to lose.